What's going on YouTube? This is 3zinferno. So here to talk to you guys today about bluffing or lying or BSing. So this is a really important factor. This is really important in this game to bluff. If you don't have a good hand or you want to do something to make your opponent misplay or do something that they normally wouldn't do, it's really important to bluff. Here's one example that I have. That I've done before. I might have used this before, but my opponent had BLS on the field. I was playtesting with rabbits. I was using rabbits. He had a BLS on the field. I had one back row. I draw a rescue rabbit, and I'm like, well, that's useless. If I make a Utopia, he's gonna BLS remove the Utopia. I'm like, well, what if I make a Dolka? So I had a Heavy Storm and a Trap Dusher in my hand, which was not live. And I was just like, I think I'll bluff a Deep Prison or a Mirror Force. So I go, and I do play Deep Prison and Mirror Force, one copy of each. So I went Rabbit into Dolka, set 2, set Dusher and Heavy Storm, and my opponent had no cards in hand. So he draws, and he looks at his hand, he's like, crap, I can't attack, because if I attack into a Deep Prison, he'll lose, because he's at pretty low life points. And I'm like, but if I can't remove it either, so he just passes. And then I draw, and then nothing again, and I pass, and then he draws and passes, and we do this for about a few turns before I finally beat him, because I draw something like Smashing and I get rid of his monster and attack for a game. Okay, so it's really difficult. Actually, I think what ended up happening was he ended up a few turns later drawing Spirit Reaper, and then attacking and attacking, and then he was just like, wow, there was nothing back there, and then I drew an out, and then I got over it. So the few turns that I survived won me the game. So it's really important sometimes to just make your opponent think you have something, but honestly you don't have it. There's two other tricks that I have for you guys. Bluffing Starlight Road. If, let's say, you draw a hand of all spells and traps, and you're like, oh man, this is useless. Like, let's say you drew like triple MST, a Solemn Warning, a Fiendish Chain, and a Lance or something. So you look at your hand and you're like, well, I could just set one of these, but what good is it? Because if they Space Typhoon that, it's good. So you're like, well, let me just set 3. Set 2 Space Typhoons and a Solemn Warning. And then bluffing a Starlight Road, because your opponent, if you set 2, your opponent won't really think about it. They'll just activate Heavy Storm. But if you set 3, your opponent might be like, this might be a Starlight back there. And if you're ballsy enough, you could even set 4 back rows, and your opponent would definitely think twice before Heavy Storming. Now, granted, I'm not telling you to just set 4, and because your opponent might just Heavy Storm. Honestly, in my opinion, most likely would just Heavy Storm anyway. But sometimes you can really bait your opponent out, especially if you're a conservative player. Like if you do a lot of conservative things and then game 2 you just set 3 back row, your opponent might just think, man, he's not like that. Like he wouldn't set 3 back rows with no protection. So sometimes bluffing Starlight Road is possible, especially if you're a conservative player. I'm sort of passive aggressive player. It's hard to explain, but I just think I really am a passive aggressive player. So so I think bluffing the Starlight Road might work for me, but sometimes it just depends on how you play really, and if you make a Starlight Road, it's better, because if they've already seen Starlight Road, that's the best way to bluff the Starlight Road, because they don't want to walk into it again. And the other card you can easily bluff is Gores. Let's say your opponent has a monster on the field, and you have 1 card in hand, let's say, and they attack you with Thunder King, and they have 1 back row go, and you draw, and it's a Torrential, and you're like, well, you have a Torrential and a Max C in your hand, so let's say you could do, I could set this Torrential and pray he summons. I don't think he's going to summon. He's not that bad a player. He's pretty good. Alright, so instead of summoning, instead of setting Torrential or setting Max C, if you have enough life points, you can just pass turn. And what might happen is that your opponent, who has Thunder King on the field, he draws into his card, and then he thinks, man, If that's a Gores, I'm gonna lose. I can't attack into that Gores. So he passes turn. And now you've gained even 1 turn advantage because you bluffed your Gores. Alright, sometimes it's really important, just if your opponent thinks you have Gores, that they won't attack, and that leaves you an extra turn to fight back. Even 1 turn sometimes is enough. 1 card makes a difference. So bluffing, or just trying to make your opponent do things that they usually wouldn't do, is really important. And I think you guys should try it out. It's another way I get my opponents to misplay, because I make them think that I have something when in reality I don't have it. So yeah, that's it, guys. And sorry my voice is a little gone, but under the weather. Been feeling under the weather a little bit. So thanks, guys. 3zinferno signing out.